Hi, my name's Zach, and I'm the inspector at this polling place. Like you, I'm serving at one of the 100 polling places in Orange County with the highest expected voter turnout. It means we'll have a lot to keep us busy on Election Day, but the Registrar of Voters has made every effort to make sure we're prepared. They gave me a diagram showing exactly how to set up the voting equipment, and there will be clerks performing special duties to assist voters every step of the way. Let me introduce one to you right now. This is Mike. He's our parking attendant.
My job as a parking attendant is crucial to voters having a good experience on Election Day. I have to know where voters are allowed to park. It's up to me to put out the cones that mark where voters with disabilities can and cannot park. Other clerks may try and tell you differently, but I really have the most important job at my polling place on Election Day. I'll be right back. I gotta do my job. Excuse me, sir. This is a parking spot for voters with disabilities.
Where should I park then?
Let me see. Oh, right there.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome. Did you notice my box? This is actually a ballot box. If a voter wants to drop off a vote-by-mail ballot, he doesn't even have to leave his car. How you doing, sir? Thank you. You may have a box or some other secure container, but whatever you have will save a parking space and reduce the number of voters inside your polling site.
In many of our 100 highest turnout polling places, parking may be limited. Have a parking attendant like Mike communicate with voters and help them locate available parking spots. This will help prevent voters from becoming frustrated before they enter the polling place. Let's go inside. It looks like voters are already lining up. It's a good thing we have a clerk to greet them at the entrance.
As a greeter, it's my job to get everything ready so that the clerks inside can process voters quickly and efficiently. First, I look up the voter's name in this alpha list. I then put her precinct number and roster line number on the ballot card. I give the ballot card to the voter and instruct her to hand it to the roster clerk when she gets inside. This really helps the roster clerk so that he or she can help the voters moving through the line. I think it makes the voters in line feel better too. After all, they can see we are here to help them and answer their questions. Can you imagine what this would look like if we ignored the voters and let the line continue to get longer?
The same people are in line as in the earlier scene. In this scenario, there is no greeter. Voters are craning their necks to see what is happening at the front of the line. The inspector stands inside the polling place door watching the scene with a worried expression. The whole thing is loud and angry.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
What is your problem?
You! I don't even want to vote today.
Oh, right. There we go. Let's move up a little bit.
People are leaving.
We might not always have a line of voters waiting throughout the day, but as soon as a line forms, I'll put this sign out letting folks in line know there is a short wait. The great thing about Karen greeting voters at the door and handing out the ballot cards is that people get the feeling that the voting process starts when they get to the polling place, even if they need to wait in line. And we're explaining what happens each step of the way. Once they get inside, they are taken care of right away. Let's go inside.
Hi, can I have your last name?
You?
Please head over to Anna Sophia. She will be handling our M through Z voters.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Your last name?
You?
I'm sure you've noticed by now that we have two roster clerks. Our rosters are special and have been split alphabetically so that the first half of the alphabet is with one roster clerk and the second half is with the other roster clerk. The traffic director asks for the voter's last name and directs the voter to the correct roster clerk so the voter can be processed right away. Let's see how that works.
As the roster clerk, I receive the ballot card from the voter and look at the precinct number to select the correct roster. I look at the roster line number and turn to the page containing that line number. Then, I verify the voter's name and have them sign. After the voter signs the roster, I fill in the cross-reference number on the ballot card and return it to the voter, and the voter's on their way to the JBC clerk or the paper ballot clerk.
This is
Come on.
No idea what's going on.
Hi. Caulfield? Karen Caulfield?
No,
C-A-U.
Caulfield.
C? Oh, all right. Just a moment.
I have a doctor's appointment I need to get to. What's going on? Why is this taking so long?
It will be just a moment, ma'am. We're looking for her name
Do
in
you
the
know, we
roster.
have been waiting for so long now.
This is ridiculous. Come on.
You're just going to
It'll
be
be
there and not
just a
going to help us
moment.
out?
Just a moment.
No one's doing help you.
Caulfield? No, thank you.
doing
It'll
here.
be, let me just look through the last one and it'll just give me a moment. You said Caulfield with, no, it's all right. You actually can't look in the roster if you could stay back from the table.
What's going on? Quick, is there anybody here that can do this?
C-A-U-L-F.
Wow, that seems scary to me, and I've seen a lot of busy elections. Don't worry though, our clerks have things under control moving quickly. I almost forgot, the street index clerk. That's very different because they don't mark the name up until after the voter is voted. We'll come back to that later. Now, let's take a look at what the JBC clerk is doing. At first glance, this probably doesn't look very different from other polling places, but it is. You'll see that we have 2 JBCs, which means we can have more e-booths. That's pretty nifty, don't you think? We have 8 e-booths daisy-chained to each JBC, 16 e-booths total. The one thing we want to look out for is that the voter goes to an e-booth that is attached to the JBC where they got their access code. The Registrar of Voters has made this even easier for us by giving us these colored tablecloths that are on the JBC tables and the matching cards that are taped to the e-booths.
Take this code to any electronic voting booth in the red square. The first one right here, it's on the side of the room.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Having 2 JBC clerks allows us to have 16 e-booths. The maximum number of e-booths a polling place can have with only 1 JBC is 12. Look at what could happen if we had only 12 e-booths.
What are we waiting for? Why can't I vote?
I'm sorry, but all the e-booths are being used. As soon as there's one available, I'll give you an access code and you can vote.
How long is that going to take?
I can't say for sure. I shouldn't be more than a couple of minutes.
That's what you told the last guy, and he had to wait a long time. You know what? First I waited outside, then I waited to sign my name, then I waited while they looked me up in some other book. Now I'm waiting here. Is this the best you people can do?
Even nice people can become impatient when they're waiting in line to vote. That's why the Registrar of Voters has streamlined this process to make it quick and efficient. Don't forget, when you see a voter, go to them. Don't let them come to you. Well, we're almost through the entire process now. But what do we do with the ballot cards the voters handed to the JBC clerk or the paper ballot clerk? The JBC and paper ballot clerks keep the ballot cards of all the voters except the provisional voters. Provisional voters need their ballot card because of the information on the back that tells them how to check on the status of their ballot. The other ballot cards are periodically taken to the street index clerk so that the voters' names can be crossed off in the street index using the cross-ref number.
As a street index clerk, the voter does not stop at my station, so there is one less area where the voter is delayed in the voting process. When I get the ballot cards from the JBC clerk, I just look at the ballot card, find the cross-reference number, and cross off the voter's name. And of course, every hour I update the street index hanging by the door. Even that is easier with these special procedures.
When the voter finishes voting, he or she will take his or her paper ballot to the clerk's station with the ballot box at the exit of the polling place. The clerk will hand the voter an I voted sticker. If he or she voted electronically, he or she will simply receive an I voted sticker from the clerk and exit the polling place. So now you've seen how we've modified our polling place to process voters in a timely and efficient manner. All the 100 highest turnout polling places are different shapes and sizes, but the process will still remain the same. Remember to use the polling place diagram in the top 100 polling place training manual that the Registrar of Voters has provided. And feel free to call their office when you have any questions or concerns. If you keep the voters informed when the wait is more than usual, they will generally be patient. Thank you again for volunteering and have a wonderful election day.